Erbazzone, erbazzone, I'm so excited for you. This is the best way to eat veggies.
What, wrapped in a lardy dough?
Yes.
Welcome to our casa, and today we're making ERBAZZONE Reggiano. But before we get started, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on future videos. ERBAZZONE is a savory pastry, and it's filled with usually Swiss chard or spinach or a mix of them both, and of course, Parmigiano Reggiano, because we are from Reggio Emilia. Reggio Emilia, which is in the region of Emilia Romagna, they love to bake with lardo. It is pork fat that has been rendered down, and it makes the pastry, the filling, everything so much more flavorful, and it is definitely a region classic. They use it with everything. But if you can't find it at your grocery store, or you're particularly maybe not fond of using lardo, that's fine. Let's use another fat, beautiful olive oil, but good quality. Let's make the pastry dough. In a large bowl, we have 500 grams of 00 flour. We're gonna take 10 grams of sea salt, sprinkle that in there, give it a little mix around. We have 100 grams of lardo, lard, rendered pork fat. We're gonna put that straight in there. And we're just going to take that lardo and break that up into the flour. Kind of like what you do to make your short crust pastry. If you would do it with butter, you're just gonna break that up, rubbing it between your fingers and your hand. You want to make sure that lardo is cold, so keep it in the refrigerator until this step. Otherwise, it'll just be a big melty mess. Once you see that your flour and that lard got pretty well mixed and they're a little crumbly, now we're gonna add some water. I have 200 grams of water. I'm gonna add that slowly in. And you want kind of room temperature water here, not too hot, but not like super, super cold. Just mix it all around until it's fully combined. Give it a little knead. Once your dough is all combined, just press down, and if it indents and pops back out, we're ready to cover it and put it in the refrigerator. Let's take it out the bowl here. And we'll let that rest for about 30 minutes. Remember that one, the first time I had ERBAZZONE?
No. What was it? Maybe Frankie Battiso?
I'll give you a hint. It is a country and you're from it.
No, okay. I know it was in Italy.
It was the best breakfast ever.
Breakfast, exactly. That's exactly what I want to talk about. So, ERBAZZONE, we are, as she said, we are in Reggio Emilia, basically home for me. ERBAZZONE, besides the one that the nonna bake in the house, like we do today, it's usually a coffee bar item. I used to own a beautiful coffee bar.
The coffee bar by day, disco at night.
Yeah, coffee bar by day, disco at night, called Bar Roma, with 3 amazing guys. Mattias, which is here with me in New York, Alan and Nicola, ciao, you're the best. and I love you. You can eat this erbazzone for breakfast, and then whenever your breakfast display has some leftover, what happens is that you cut it in smaller squares and you use it on your counter as an aperitivo around 6 or 7 in the afternoon. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So there is no Italian aperitivo without Prosecco. Prosecco is the classic of classics of classics sparkling Italian wine. What is Prosecco and how to order it in a restaurant? Because it's very, very popular here in New York and in the whole country. We have 3 categories of Prosecco, depending on how much is the residual sugar in the bottle. So we have dry, extra dry, and brut. Paradoxically, dry is the less dry of all, and then the extra dry and the brut is the driest of all. We have different content of sugar. The brut has maximum 12 grams per liter. The extra dry has in between 12 and 17 grams per liter, and the dry is in between 17 and 32 grams per liter. So if your palate is on the sweet side, just order dry Prosecco. If you like drier and more pronounced acidity in your wine, go for a brut. Also, another thing that I would advise you to look on the label when you buy a Prosecco, either in a wine store or you order at the restaurant, you can ask for a Valdobbiadene. Valdobbiadene, Val is a valley in the Veneto region, and that's where the best Prosecco are produced. You can enjoy your Prosecco in a regular wine glass. We love to taste the best of it in a classic flute glass. And I can't wait to have another nice glass of Prosecco. Let's open it. Yeah! It's always a beautiful feeling of celebration when you open a bottle of Prosecco.
That's a good Prosecco.
Wonderful.
You have a brut.
I go for brut.
I go for the brut too. We're not very sweet people. If you were Prosecco, you would be a brut.
Yes, you would be a dry.
That's rude.
Should we move on?
Yeah. Let's make the filling. In a large saute pan, we're gonna add some olive oil, 2 cloves of garlic, nicely chopped down. I have 6 green onion that I chopped as well. We have our flame over medium-high, and we're just going to let them soften a bit. After about a minute or 2, and those onions are getting nice and soft, but they're not burning, we're gonna add a spoonful of lardo. Remember, I said this recipe is quite heavy on the lard. Once all that lardo is melted down, we're going to add 12 ounces of chopped green Swiss chard. Mix that around. Get wilted down a bit. When you get a little bit more room in your pan, we're going to add 4 ounces of baby spinach, and same thing, just mix that around. You know the greens, they're gonna cook down. All right, now we're gonna add some salt, nice hefty pinch there, and some fresh cracked black pepper. Once it's all mixed together, I'm just going to add a little lid over top, let them cook down so they get nice and soft for a few minutes. After 5 minutes, remove your lid. You can see all the water that's starting to cook out. We're going to keep cooking that with the lid off until we get most of that water evaporated. We have the flame off. You can see all that water. It's just about all gone. Now we're gonna take it out of that hot pan and set it aside in a bowl. Let it cool down a little bit just so it's easier to handle. Once our greens filling has cooled down a bit, we're gonna put it out on our cutting board. We put it back in our mixing bowl. To our filling, we're gonna add 3 ounces of finely grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. And we're also gonna add 1 whole egg. Okay, now we mix it all together until it's nice and incorporated. All right, our dough has been chilling, resting. We just need to cut in half. Totally eyeball halving the dough, but if one is a little bit bigger than the other, save the bigger one for the bottom. So let's put our top piece, wrap that back up so it doesn't dry out. I have a 12-inch baking sheet and I'm lined it with parchment paper. We're gonna take the bottom piece of our dough, put that right in the bottom there. Now we add our filling on top of that bottom dough layer. You want to have a nice even layer and you want to leave a little bit at the edges. Now we take that top layer, lay it over top. You're going to try to take that bottom layer and crimp it together so you're sealing all that filling in. Now we're just gonna take a little olive oil and brush that over the entire top. Now you take a fork and we're gonna poke holes through so that it doesn't puff up. All right, we were not done with lardo. I told you there's a lot in this recipe. We're gonna put a little bit on top, just like little dollops. Now we put it in our oven for about 20 minutes or until it gets nice and golden brown on top. After a few minutes of cooling,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
ERBAZZONE.
ERBAZZONE. Aperitivo style, but breakfast size.
Yes.
You can cut it down into a lot little more bite-sized pieces. It's actually perfect too for parties. A little holiday party. We're getting into that season. That's good.
Oh,
It's very hot.
we literally can't wait.
I know.
Cannot wait.
I love the ERBAZZONE.
Perfect pairing. If you like this video,
Please push the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on future videos. And ciao. Enjoy the first weekend of October. Good luck to the first weekend to all of our brothers and sisters out there in the restaurant industry for their first weekend of 25% indoor.
you got this, guys.
Stay safe. Respect the guidelines. Wear your masks. And enjoy. Can be also a napkin.